New York City, what's going on? It's NWO Sparrow here with NWO News on Medium.com. I have Iman Nunez here. What's up, man?
What's going on, y'all? I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yonkers is here, heavy.
For sure.
So as a rapper hailing from Yonkers,
Yeah.
how was your upbringing and how has your upbringing influenced your music style?
I think it influenced my music style in so many different ways because, like, I was, fortunate enough to see both sides of it. So in a sense of, I was born and raised in Manhattan, like around the Inwood area. So then I moved to Yonkers when I was a teenager. So being able to see the difference of, like, just seeing what was around, what were people listening to. So like when I was in Manhattan, a lot of my uncles would put me on to like Hove and like Fabulous and Biggie and stuff. And then I go to Yonkers and it's like the Louch, DMX and all that. So like it's for me, I guess it was just always based around lyricism.
Yeah.
So like that was my big thing of just making sure that I was at least, up to par with things that I was saying.
So speaking of up to par, you have Roberto Cavali with Sheek, Louch, and Styles P. How did that come about?
So Roberto Cavali came about because I would, so my brother's Rondon, who's also my, he produces a lot of records for me and stuff. We would go to D Block every single day for like 5 years. And, we built a, like a family relationship with them. So I've been blessed enough to have them as my OGs, my mentors and stuff. And then it just became that time for Sheek and Styles that they, they wanted to get on the record with me. I was fortunate enough to be on Styles' album Presence on a record called Yes Lord. And then me, Sheek, and Styles just did a remix from my homie Tony Mossberg. We did a Yonkers remix. So
yeah,
just that's like family, man. They look out for me a lot. We just did a show with Styles in November at Urban Plaza for his birthday. So
okay,
it's cool.
When you did the Roberto Cavali record, were you nervous? Like you going first in front of two hip hop heavyweights? Was there any nervousness there? Like, did you feel like I gotta out rap these dudes? Like,
so of course I have the out rap feeling, but I wasn't nervous. I was more excited than anything, just because of the fact I knew how heavy my verse was.
Yeah.
To the point that I was like, oh no, I could put this against anybody. Like, let's go.
And
like,
it was good, man. The verse was good.
Appreciate it.
This is your words. Boosted my ego with a couple zeros that I ain't make yet. I swore I changed the game, not for $1 or a paycheck. What does that mean to you?
So it was just always, I love this thing. I love hip hop. So like since I was young, man, like I always wanted to be a rapper. So like I always wanted to have an impact on people with the words that I would say. And of course I like having fun with lyrics and stuff like that too, but like my main thing was always just have something to talk about, have something to say. There'll be other people that can relate to it. And there's a lot of people who have messaged me telling me how impactful my lyrics have been and all that stuff. So I'm always grateful for that. And just, for me, it's always the love first. I really care about this stuff. So I always wanted to be a legend in this thing.
Yeah.
And that's where that comes from.
I like the fact that you had the wits about you to know that, okay, let me attach DJ enough to this project, because I may not know exactly the artist that I'm going to be, or artist that you are presently in front of me. But I do know I have to make these kind of moves.
And you know what? I give a lot of credit to Rondon, because he actually was the one to get DJ enough to hear it. To be like, all right, cool. Like, he made sure that he was inside of Hot 97 to be like, yo, nah, listen to this person.
Yeah. And
we gonna make this happen type of thing. And, that's how it was. So shout out to Rondon for even making that even possible.
Shout out to him.
Yeah.
One of the things that strike me about you as an artist is that you have this artistic balance with records like the new record you have put out.
Watch Your Step.
Watch Your Step. You have records like that. But then you have like this hood side. So I wasn't sure what I was going to get today. Yeah. To be very honest. Like, that's another reason why you didn't get the address early. So I was like, I'm listening to your music and it's like, yo, this is a very artistic dude. I think your wordplay is amazing. But then you also could talk that shit, like, where you come from. How do you balance that, and what do you want to play into more for the world to perceive from you?
To perceive the artistic side, because that's me. At the end of the day, that's 100% me. With the hood stuff, it's fun. It's much more fun.
Is it truthful? Are you talking your truth?
I'm talking a lot of truth, but necessarily more just like on a don't play with me type of aspect. Because there's always there's people that I know and there's situations that I've seen and been like, from a distance, but it's just more of a don't play with me aspect. And that's where I try to keep it at. But more than ever, there's the artistic side of me. That's the most important side ever, and I think that's who Iman is more than ever.
Yeah.
So 100%, I would say the artistic side. Of course, like when you starting out, and you saying, I'm trying to think of a crazy line I've probably said before and stuff like that. You start thinking that you need to say these things to fit a certain mold.
Yeah, of course.
And all that, and it's like, nah, because the type of records that stuck with people is the records that was 100% me.
Yeah,
so it was like, all right, cool.
It's it's just for the dialect of this. When most artists do them, because of course, if right now you set up at a major, the major tell you, well, you got to have this type of record, you got to have this type of record, and they know what they're talking about on certain levels. But in terms of that core fan base of being an independent artist, you have to speak from you to reach people like you.
Absolutely.
There's people that, like, up until I was introduced to you, I haven't heard of you.
Yeah.
When I listened to him, I was like, yo, this dude is really freaking good. Like, he's really good. And it was just so much versatility. And it was like, okay, I could listen to this. Like Growing Pains with you and Dizzy Bango.
Yeah.
That shit was fire. Like that, it had this whole, like, the beats was slow at the beginning and it sped up. Absolutely. And then y'all was just going back. So I like, yo, this dude is really nice. Fan.
I appreciate that. And even with that type of record, that's a great, even calling Dizzy, because I knew Dizzy would fit on this. I was like, yo, I need your energy on this. This is you.
He was talking.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm like, this is you.
Yeah.
For me, let me do my part where you hear the slower beat of just like me, talking, but it's like you see the artistic style to it, into being like, all right, as soon as we do this, I gotta lay this up to somebody that I know who could really take this home.
Yeah.
I could dabble in it, but it's like, this ain't all the way me. Let me make sure I got somebody who could do it.
And you chose the perfect person, bro.
Appreciate
you chose the person. Finish this line for me. Paint a vivid picture of my image.
Paint the vivid picture of my image. You could feel it. Never gave a damn about a gimmick. This is living. Worry about the world and what it's offered. Now I got the world in my hands. Yeah.
Yes, which is one of my favorite songs from you.
Appreciate that.
I think it has, like, for me, not to put you up against another artist, but like it has this J. Cole realistic vibe to it.
I can see that.
What does that line mean to you?
It goes back to the truthfulness.
Yeah.
So like even that record itself, I remember a line where I said something about cutting like Barbary, and then I was just like I threatened somebody in the song, and they say, yo, calm down, that ain't you, like you ain't gonna do that, like type of thing. So it was like, pipe down, be honest, be still at home right where my mama sleep. Could have been out selling dinner, but didn't work out for me, all that type of stuff. So it was like, that's where I was like, that was the layer of understanding who Iman is. And let me peel that layer out to be like, you know what, let's have fun with it. Because it's like, yo, you could say this, but bro, that ain't, relax. You ain't doing none of that type of stuff. So
you definitely got to recycle that record and
yo, I love performing it because I like it. And definitely got to come out to one of my shows so you can see this like in person. So it's like that song is great because it's a call and response song all the time. I get people involved with it every single time, but that's a record that everybody always sticks with for sure.
It's a really, really strong record, and I listened to most of your catalog, and that one stood out to me.
Appreciate that.
It was another one that was really good. I think it was called Cost.
Yeah, it's called. That was another one
as well.
Yeah, another performance song that we have a lot of fun with too.
And now that we on the topic of traveling, your cross country tour, of the Rosedale EP, it showcased your versatility.
Yes.
And your reach as an artist. What was the most memorable experience you had during that tour?
I would say performing in Texas for my first time, because we went to a couple different parts of Texas, such as Houston, Dallas, San Antonio, and Austin for South by, and we also did LA. That was my first time performing in LA too. So I think the whole thing overall was just cool because it's just like I'm touching cities that I never did before. With
your music.
Yeah, with my music. So it's like I used to think to myself, because my parents never been to California before, or they haven't been to Texas before. So it's like the fact that I've been able to travel to all these different states off of music.
Yes.
It's like that is a crazy blessing of like, wow, I can't believe this is a thing.
Yeah.
So I'm just grateful for the whole experience.
What ways do you look to push the boundaries of the music industry once you get your place in it? What do you want to see more of?
I want to see more care in music. That's, I think, and what I mean by that is that I think my generation was very spoiled with the greatness we were receiving from people.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of sets a standard of what is not there at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And it bothers me because I truly care about doing things at a high level at all times.
Yes.
So if I can't see that, nor should I expect it from people, but I feel like we were so spoiled seeing like we saw Kanye at a thing, we saw Hove at at a moment, even the newer people at the time like Cole, Kendrick, and Drake, to be able to see they care. So it's like they want that.
Yeah.
I want that. I want that feeling. And I think right now people care more about being lit to get a quick little check more than anything. And I hey, cool, do that. But I think hip hop right now just is more of a lick than anything. Yeah. And I like right now I feel like, you know what, I think that tide has changed. It has to change because something doesn't stay the same the whole entire time. Yeah. And that's what I care about. I think I want more of that.
There's a quote that says, hard times create strong men. Strong men create easier times. Yeah. Easier times create weak men. Weak men create hard times. Wow. I think that you're in the stage where you want to be the strong man to create, not the easier times, but you want to create better times. Yeah. But then you will be the one to spoil the next generation seeing your greatness. Exactly. And it's going to be just all over again.
That's important to me because what people look up to right now, like, our parents used to say, what are y'all listening to? What is this type of thing? Yeah. But then as I'm getting older, I'm just like, oh, okay. And I like some of it and stuff like that. But I think I love the care more than anything. You can hear when somebody cares. Yeah. Something.
Even for a lot of the talent that people think don't care, like you could hear the I want to say devotion, I guess, they put into the sound editing or the mix, and you can hear it. And not just to stand apart, because some people do it just stand apart and say, oh, my sound is like this, but it's not that care. Like you can hear J. Cole cares about what he's doing, and even in his writing ability.
Absolutely.
You got an upcoming performance at Yonkers Brewing. It's a homecoming show.
Yes.
This is a hometown show for you coming home. Yeah. How you preparing for this gig, man?
Honestly, just rehearsals, and I'm super excited because I haven't done a show back home since before COVID. We did it. The last time we did a show was on South Broadway in Yonkers, and it was a week before the city shut down. So it's cool to be able to be there for my brother Nico Brim, Really J1, and Madison Starr. We just gonna put on a great show for Nico's homecoming show, and it's gonna feel great to come back to just do a little something for the city that everybody can be proud of because we care. So there's gonna be a lot of cool things.